All right, so today is going to be a little bit of a rant. All right, we're a couple pay-per-views under the belt of the Paramount Plus deal, the new deal for the UFC, and there's still some things that the UFC needs to fucking change. The UFC needs to lock in and needs to add these things or just change the way some things are done if they really want to be taken as a serious sport and a serious company, okay? Because they are slowly or adding a little bit here and there that the fans have been wanting to see, but it's just not enough. So I'm gonna just go down my list, talk about some things that they really need to fucking lock in and add. I'm not gonna be talking about rule changes or how fighters obviously need to get paid more or fighter unions and like illegal eye pokes. I'm not gonna be talking about shit like that, okay? Because there's only so much you can do about fighter eye pokes and fighter pay, and it's just some muddy waters. But these are like logical things that I just don't see why not the fucking UFC can just do like overnight. Like seriously, if they just locked in and did these couple things, the UFC would be just so much bigger and so much more profitable because that's what they want. All right, which leads me into my first example. The UFC needs to treat their product. The UFC company needs to treat the UFC like a sport and not a business, okay? The NFL is a business. The NBA is a business. MLB, NHL, they are businesses, but they come off as sports first, all right? When you think of the NFL, it's always, it's sports and this, the trades and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh yeah, but it's a business at the end of the day. Like that's always like on the back burner. The UFC treats this shit like it's a business first and then a sport. You get the mismatch rankings. You get the guys fighting lower for the title. Like you get the title, the guy holding the title. You get the champion, okay, fighting the 8th ranked guy, the 5th ranked guy, because the UFC is trying to push their stars to generate more revenue. Jesus Christ, generate more revenue. All right, the UFC cares so much about their stars, so much about how do they maximize profits without, that's the thing. So does the NFL. So does any other fucking giant sports company. So does just sports companies in general. At the end of the day, they're a fucking company. All right. They don't give a fuck about the product. At the end of the day, these people just care. These billionaires, these investors, they just care about the money in their fucking pockets. You really think these founding people, these people who run these fucking companies, you think these NFL billionaires really care at the end of the day? No, they just care about what gets them the most money, whether that's a successful team, whatnot. All right. The UFC needs to treat this like a sport first, maximize champions. Okay. Get the champ versus the number one contender. Stop trying to just shoot stars. I get wanting big names. I get wanting stars, but let it happen naturally. The NFL didn't just, it happens. I'm just saying the NFL didn't just push Patrick Mahomes down our throats when he was drafted. I get he wasn't picked first overall, but even like Kyler Murray, okay? First overall to the Cardinals. He was drafted in the MLB draft, all right? Won the Heisman. Kyler was not shoved down our throat like a UFC prospect that Dana White or the UFC wants to push. That's the difference. Fernando Mendoza, the number one pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Everyone knows he's the number one pick. He went 16-0, won the Heisman, won the national championship. He will get pushed a little bit, yes, just because of being the number one overall pick and having, he's the Heisman. But it's not going to be to how when the UFC tries to push these fucking stars artificially down our throats, down our faces. All right? You're not going to get fucking Mendoza starting Sunday Night Football back-to-back, or just starting so many primetime games. You got Bo fucking Nickel. All right? Bot Nickel was on UFC 300, the main fucking card of UFC 300. Like, is that not industry plant levels? Think about that. Think of all of the former champions. Yuri Prohaska was below him. Yuri, a former champion, one of everyone's favorite fighter. Yuri was below him in the bout order for UFC 300. Bot Nickel is an industry plant, and it's not like he even fought anyone crazy. He fought a fucking blob. Like, this is what I'm saying. The UFC needs to treat this shit like a sport first and then a business. Stop pushing this shit that just doesn't matter. Stop trying to maximize your revenue. Make it a sport. Make it something people want to care about. Make it a star people want to like. Okay? Then you start promoting him. Treat it like a sport. Treat it like the NFL treats its product. Okay? It's a sport at the end of the day. They treat their top teams with respect. If you're a good team this year in basketball, if you're a good team this year in football, the following year, you're going to have more primetime games. It's no different than the UFC. If you're a top fighter, if you're Movsar, who's got skipped, if you're Lerone Murphy, who's got skipped, if you're one of these top guys, top 3 ranked guys, and you're just getting skipped or you're getting disrespected on the card, think of Umnar and Figgy. Jesus Christ, I really can't talk today. Davis and Figueiredo, all right, on the first card of this year. They were on the fucking prelims. Think of that. Umar is one of the top contenders. He's what, ranked 2? 2 in the bantamweight division. It's not even like it's a women's division. It's not like it's the flyweight. This is Umar. This is a Nurmagomedov. He is put on the prelims. He has fought for the title. He was Merab's toughest challenge when Merab was the champion. And they're getting put on the fucking prelims. Like, I just don't understand this at all. It makes 0 sense. Instead, they replace it with Rose Namajunas and Silva, Natalia Silva. I'm sorry, but no disrespect. That fight should not have been on the main card instead of the Figgy and Umar fight. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Treat it like a sport. You see where the ratings are coming in. You see that these are high-level fighters, a former champion, a former dominant champion, one of the biggest stars in the flyweight division, a division that lacks stars, versus Umar, a Nurmagomedov. Everyone knows the Nurmagomedovs. And they're getting put on the prelims for Rose and Silva. Like, it just makes 0 sense. Treat it like a sport. Stop maximizing profits and treating it like a business and then reverting back to the sport. Okay? It just makes 0 sense. If they follow that line, they'd be so much more successful. The next thing, okay, get someone who cares. It's easier said than done. Get bald-headed, bitch-ass Dana White out of here. He clearly does not give a fuck. My theory, realistically, is after this whole UFC White House push, because it's actually going to happen. Like, people really didn't think it. People were skeptical at first, but as we get closer, it looks like it's legitimately going to be a real thing. I really think after the White House card, because Dana White has said this is going to be like kind of a one-off thing. I really think after this huge push, because Dana White's, going gung-ho about it, this is like the old Dana White promoting something, okay? He's actually carrying it, actually trying to promote this White House card. If he took that energy for every single pay-per-view, for his fighters, for his product, he doesn't give a fuck, okay? But I'm saying, back to my point, I think realistically after this White House card, I honestly could see him, not like directly after, but like in the next year after the White House card, I realistically could see Dana just stepping down and Hunter Campbell stepping up. Like, it's not that crazy to say, because he could still be involved and still be like, the mascot for the UFC, which he already at this point is. But I mean, he still goes out for like the press conferences. He still is out there for some of the weigh-ins. He's still in there for wrapping the belt. Depends if he likes you or not. Okay, you still have the Dana White Contender Series. He's cool. He can have that. But I really think after this White House card, within the next year, I really, really could see him just stepping down, because he clearly doesn't give a fuck about the product. The only thing he really cares about is this White House card. So after the White House card, it's already bleak right now for how much he gives a fuck about the product. After the last thing he really, truly seems like he cares about, what's stopping him from just stepping down? He's been in this shit for 20 plus years. Hunter Campbell's right there, or whoever the fuck he's appointing. Everyone, it's damn near Hunter and running the show. So I really think Dana White has to go. I really think his time's closer than a lot of people really realize for Dana White stepping down. All right, the next thing, okay, this is kind of different, but it's just another big thing. The Paramount deal, $7 billion, $7 billion fucking dollars. You're on Paramount. You're not on Spike TV. You're not on Fox. You're not on even ESPN. You are on Paramount. Okay. The UFC won. Obviously, get rid of the fucking Apex events. I think everyone agrees. That's just a common thing. Get rid of the Apex events. There's not much more you can really say. They fucking suck. No one likes them. Once again, they were cool during the pandemic. The Apex events suck ass now. You want live crowds. You want the live crowd reactions. You want the fighters in the live crowd atmosphere. Apex events suck. They're literally AI fucking slop events. All right? But piggybacking off of getting rid of the fucking Apexes, the UFC needs to diversify their event locations. Why has the UFC not gone to Japan? Why has the UFC not gone to Africa or Hawaii? Why, diversify where you go. I get you want to stay in Nevada or you go to Abu Dhabi and you have your mainstay places. Why not go to Japan? MMA is huge over there. They have two of the biggest promotions. They had your ultimate competitor, Pride, back in the day. They have one. They have Ryzen. Ryzen's probably the second biggest MMA promotion in the world. You get Yuri over there. You get Manel Kopp over there. There's ties. People come over from Ryzen, come over from One. Put an event in Japan. Go to Africa when you had Ngannou as the champion. Why were you not trying to push harder for an event when you had Ngannou? You had Usman. Okay, you had Israel Adesanya. You had the three with the African kings. Why did you not try to set something up in Africa? And then comes DDP, who claimed he's the real African king, from South Africa. It was the him and Izzy beef. Why did you not try to set something up in Africa there? Why not get a pay-per-view in China? I know they just had a fight night in China last year, but diversify the events and the event locations. It just makes no sense. When Max Holloway was a champion, why did we not, everyone knows he's from Hawaii. He has the shorts from Hawaii. That's not, obviously it's not his whole fucking thing. Why is there not an event in Hawaii? That would be fucking badass. Make these big events, these big pay-per-views. You have 12, 13 a year. Put them in different locations. We don't just need to see Nevada 5 times a year. We don't need to see Abu Dhabi 2 or 3 times a year. We don't need to see Miami every year. We don't need to see California every year. All right? It's the same shit every fucking year. Get new crowds. Get the crowd pops. Get just new, bigger venues. Get new, bigger venues in other countries. MMA is huge around the world. What's stopping us from going to Brazil again and doing a huge Brazilian pay-per-view? I just don't understand it. You had Pereira as the champ. Pereira is the active champ. He might vacate, but when Pereira was the active champ, why not take advantage of that? A huge crowd. I just don't understand it. And now they're getting $7 billion. They got $7 billion from Paramount. They need to have these events, these pay-per-views worldwide, more worldwide than they already are. I just think it would be so much better. Pay-per-view in Ireland, a pay-per-view in Spain. Why not? Ilya is the champ. He is exciting fighters. He is the most prolific knockout artist in the UFC of the past how many years? Have a massive event in Spain in front of Ilya's home crowd. You did it for McGregor. I get McGregor's a one-off star. Why not do it for Ilya? I just don't understand this. Have it in France. Have it in the UK. You don't need a UK champion to have a massive pay-per-view there. You can have a massive pay-per-view in France without a French champion. That's the thing with the UFC. They want the specific nationality to be champion. I get it's so much more eventful and it just means so much more when you have a Mexican champion and you go have a pay-per-view in Mexico. Okay? But it shouldn't fucking matter. This is what I'm saying. Treat it like a sport and less like a business. The NFL is expanding. This is what I'm saying. The NFL, the NBA, they are actively playing games in other countries. Germany had a fucking NFL game, for Christ's sakes. Like, what is stopping the UFC from going to these other countries and just having giant pay-per-views? Not even giant pay-per-views. It doesn't even have to be anything crazy. Just a pay-per-view in a different country. It will push the sport. It will make the sport bigger. I just don't understand it. That's what I'm saying. You see other sports trying to progress. You see the NFL actively trying to get every team to play at least one game in a different country now. Like, you had a game in fucking Brazil, an NFL game. An NFL game week 1 in Brazil. Like, you think there's a huge NFL market in Brazil? I don't see it. I mean, I'm sure there is. But it's like, I mean, just today they announced there's going to be an NFL game in Australia for the first time ever. Like, there was an NFL game in Ireland last year. The NFL is diversifying. They're trying to build the bigger fan base. The UFC just does not seem to give a fuck about that. They're so stuck in their ways, and I don't know if that's a Dana White problem, a logistics problem. If they can fucking go to Abu Dhabi, if they can go to China for a fucking fight night, they can do these across the world multiple times a year. All right? I just don't understand it. You see these big sports treating it like a sport first. I get it's about the business practices, but at least they're trying to expand. All right? They're doing it for the business purposes, but the UFC isn't even fucking attempting that. Like, it just makes zero sense. The last one, kind of piggybacking off of all this, the fight nights, the no apexes. Instead of the apexes, why don't they just do like, hey, the first 4 months of the year, we're going to do like, or the first 2 months of the year, we're going to do a Western tour of UFC fight nights. All right, we're going to tour down from Seattle. We're going to go into California. We'll hit Oregon, Nevada, Phoenix. If you have 6 fight nights in 2 months, 3 months, okay, tour these different cities. You can get these big cities. It doesn't all have to be in the fucking bumfucking nowhere. You go to the Midwest. Hey, May is Midwest fucking month. All right, we're going to hit Minneapolis. We're going to go to Chicago. And then we're going to go to Milwaukee. 3 fight nights. Kansas City was in the Midwest, had a Midwest fight night last year. Like, do these little local, do these like territorial road tours. You can also obviously have fight nights across the world in different countries and still tour the country. Like, there's still obviously bigger cities than just Paris, France. All right, I get these countries are a lot smaller. Some of them are smaller than America. But you can still tour Europe. Hey, we're going to go and have our next 2 months of fight nights are going to be across Europe. I know it might be challenging to constantly be on the road, and it's just so easy to be like, all right, here's AI Slop Apex. Again, like, hope you guys are happy. But how cool would that to be, like, announce it in legs? Be like, hey, this summer, we're touring all of Asia for our fight nights. Like, these 3 fight nights are going to be in Japan. The next month, these 3 fight nights are going to be in Korea. The next 3 fight nights, they're going to be in China. That is fucking sick. It diversifies the sport. It makes the sport so much bigger. I just don't understand why the UFC is not capitalizing on just something so simple of getting rid of the fucking AI slop Apex cards. Get rid of them. Diversify the sport. Make it a sport worth caring about. Make it something, the UFC. What's more entertaining? I was just having this talk with my brother. What are you going to get more excited about? A random jobber in the UFC getting a knockout on a prelim or seeing a Mark Andrews touchdown? It's going to be the fucking knockout. It doesn't matter if you know the guy or not. You are going to get so much more excited. Now, it depends on the Mark Andrews touchdown, but if it's a fucking run-of-the-mill, it's the second quarter, all right, boom, a Mark Andrews 7-yard touchdown. Like, oh, yay, we're hyped in the moment. But, like, if you see a fucking knockout and you're in a different, you're in that fighter's city, or it's just a crazy knockout in general, like, the the gotcha of a fucking knockout or a crazy moment, a crazy exchange, a crazy scramble happening in the UFC. The excitement, I really think for the highs of sports, if you're not counting like, a clutch time play or a buzzer beater, the highs of a knockout, the highs of UFC, no sport holds a candle. Like, I don't care. I would rather see a knockout, a submission, a crazy boxing exchange all day than a fucking 30-yard touchdown to Jamar Chase, than a home run. Like, maybe that's me personally. A 50-point game, I'd rather see a fucking crazy knockout than a player in the fucking 35th regular season game of the NBA drop a 50-point game. All right, I get that's cool, but it's the spectacle of the UFC, the highs of the UFC, man. Get these events out of the fucking apex. These fighters deserve crowds. And these countries, these people who want to support their favorite fighters deserve to be there to watch their favorite fighters. These fighters deserve to fight in front of their families, in front of their home crowds, in front of their towns, especially if you're a megastar. The UFC is just lazy, and they need to start treating it like a sport. It kills me why we still have these apex slop events. Okay, moving on. Like, it makes zero sense to me. The next one, it kind of fits into the eventing ramble I was going on about. But I really think if the UFC locked in with this one, like, this is a big one where I could really see the UFC, depending on how the White House card does, it's just they have to go about it a certain way. The NFL obviously has the Super Bowl. Everybody knows about the Super Bowl. Everybody knows about the NBA Finals. Like, it's the NBA Finals. NFL Super Bowl. MLB World... fucking hell. I'm blank. I was going to say World Cup. It's the FIFA World Cup. World Series. MLB World Series. Okay? NHL Stanley Cup Finals. What does the UFC have? I get it's UFC 300 or UFC 301. They go by the numbers. But I think these little things where if the UFC really locked in, we already have UFC International Fight Week. But if you branded it like that, like, hey, to where everyone knows, this is UFC International Fight Week. Like, this is UFC's thing. This is their big thing. It would help the sport so much. Like I said, the NFL has NFL Super Bowl. The UFC, I get their big things are UFC 100, 200, 300, 400. But I think if you have one or two mega events, like what they're saying the White House is, 5 years from now, if they have a mega event like the White House every year, it will start to catch on. It will start to gain traction as, this is the UFC Super Bowl. WWE has, hey, this is SummerSlam. Hey, this is the WWE Royal Rumble. Like, the WWE has their events throughout the year, every weekend or every so often, just like the UFC. But these key events that people know, hey, you want to get together for SuperSlam this summer? You want to get together for the Rumble? Like, the Royal Rumble is happening. What's like that for the UFC? I guess, holy shit, like, Ilya's fighting this weekend. Or, like, Ilya's fighting, let's go to that fight. But, like, I think it needs to be event-based. Like, holy shit, like, the UFC's putting on a crazy card for International Fight Week. Like, you guys, like, people deserve to be hyped, like, 2 times a year. I'm saying 2 to 3 times. 3 times maybe enough. Maybe too much. 1 to 2 times is the perfect sweet spot for the UFC to really just market something. They're trying with International Fight Week, but the fucking International Fight Week last year was terrible. It was just like, if you're going to look at that and you're going to, everyone, they try to market it as their biggest event throughout the year. Obviously, they're changing shit up with the White House this year. But if they're fucking going as hard as they are with the White House this year, do that every year for something then. Like I said, it doesn't have to be UFC White House. Do fucking UFC Rivalry Week, where it's just like the guys that just don't fuck with each other, the biggest beefs, like, or just the biggest badass fights. Like, just do something cool where it's like, holy shit, like, every year I'm hyped for International Fight Week. Like, it should be that. It shouldn't be holy shit International Fight Week and then you get fucking poop shitty fights. I don't know exactly what to call it. But I'm saying, like, even Ryzen New Year's. You think of Ryzen's biggest event of the year, it's Ryzen New Year's. Everyone knows what kind of year or what time of year it is, the new year. Everyone knows it's going to be a big spectacle. It is every year. It is their biggest event. They have their biggest fighters, the best fighters on it. Title fights, up the ass on it. Okay, like, they have their own thing. What, like, the UFC International Fight Week is like a fart in the fucking wind. You go ask a casual, like, seriously, someone who's like kind of an MMA or the UFC, they're not going to know what International Fight Week is. Like, is it crazy to say that you don't, like, I'm not saying you have to be a fucking hardcore to know what International Fight Week is, but they have to market something like the Rise of New Year's, like the MLB World Series. This is the UFC blank blank. UFC White House. It just needs something like that every year. One or two big events every year. And I just think it would make the sport so much bigger. And then they actually lock in and make these good events. All right? Because you can't be calling this shit International Fight Week and put together a fucking poop shitty card like they did last year. All right? You have to build around the hype and get people to actually want to watch your product. So I really think the UFC, if they just locked in and did something like that, you know, the UFC at Madison Square Garden, I get the New York cards are usually big at the end of the year. Call it something then. Like, make it a spectacle, like you're making the White House. If you want to make the Madison Square Garden, the New York card at the end of the year, the biggest one, UFC, call it something. Make it a spectacle. Make it something people know in advance is coming. Okay? Like, just do something with it. It will grow the sport tenfold. Ah, man, I've been ranting about for fucking 27 minutes. I still got hella more. All right, next one. Better fight announcements. The next couple are going to be pretty fucking obvious. But better fight announcements, man. We are in 2026. 2026, and we're still getting live tweets from the UFC saying, hey, Dana White is going to go live on Instagram to announce some fights. Like, let's be fucking serious. Let's be serious. Imagine the NFL tweeting, hey, Roger Goodell is going to go live later to talk about the Thursday night football games. No, the fucking teams have these crazy, intelligent, these crazy rollouts, these funny video packages, these compilations. Every team gets so creative with the schedule releases. And the UFC's like, you know what? Let's go on fucking Instagram and just ramble for 2 minutes in a blurry video. Not know the kid's name who's fighting. Not know who the champion is. Let's stumble over our words. Like, it's so unprofessional. It just makes zero sense. Have live, like, videos, like, at a press conference. Or, like, have the UFC be like, hey, put the hourglass and be like, hey, in 24 hours. All right? And then the 24 hours hits and they drop, like, an actual fucking promo video. Like, a world premiere of fights getting announced. And it's like a legit badass fucking video, a badass promo that the UFC is cutting and putting on instead of fucking Dana White in an Instagram live video. It makes no sense. Imagine the UFC or Dana White, whoever, hey, 24 hours from now, you know, like I said, just the fucking hourglass emoji. And then boom, they drop International Fight, or they drop the White House card, and it's this video rendering of it, and it's, you know, you get the fighters walking out and facing off against each other, or you get the reveals. It's them in their training camp, and then, or them in the gym, and it's, you know, showing who they're gonna fight, and all this. Just something crazy, like a world premiere, like it's no different than like a fucking video game trailer. Like, if you're sitting here, and I'm hyped for the new Elden Ring game, or the new fucking FromSoft game, and the world premiere, the world release of the new FromSoft trailer drops on Twitter. Everyone knows what day the release is happening. They make it a spectacle. Hey, we're having this fucking... we're having these press conferences. And at this press conference, we were going to drop videos. We're going to drop a trailer for the upcoming pay-per-views that no one knows who's fighting. Shit like that. Like, maybe it's corny to me. Like, maybe it sounds corny. But I think that would be so badass. Imagine at the press conference before 325, they just fucking on the big screen. Just a big ass trailer, or just a trailer drops, and then they live tweet the trailer. They put it on Instagram, the trailer, and it's a cut up of UFC 326 was already announced, but 327, and it's the fights getting announced that way. Like, that would be sick. That would be so much better. Have live face-offs. 326, it's, the press conference again. And all of a sudden, hey, guys, for a moment, we're going to step aside. We're going to have a live face-off of the main event of UFC 327. And boom, they just come out and the crowd erupts. Like, wouldn't that be fucking sick? Like, wouldn't that not be sick as fuck? Like, just mic drop, hey, I'm going to take a second. I'm going to stand back. We got an announcement to do. And then boom, fucking Merab and Petr Yan come out. And they do a face-off quick. And then, the co-main. That's all. It's not all fucking... I'm talking about the big fights. The big money fights. The main event. The championship fight. The co-main if it's going to be a big fight. Even the fucking feature fight. If it's going to be a fighter they're really trying to promote. Even if it's just a badass fight. Like, have the live face-offs where it's like, all right, mic drop. They're coming out. Boom, and they just come out. And they do a face-off right then and there at a press conference. That'd be crazy. Like, I just don't understand why the UFC is still doing the fucking Dana White Instagram lives. It makes no sense. It's literally mind-numbing. I shouldn't be seeing a fight announcement and it's a fucking picture of Petr Yan versus Merab 3 on Twitter. And I just refresh my timeline and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, no, it should be something I'm hyped about. It should be something the fans get behind. It should be an event for the fans, like a video game trailer. Like, everyone knows, hey, we're going to get this thing today. Or a Rogue album drop. If your favorite artist, Rogue, drops an album on Thursday night or Friday. Like, imagine they did a fucking Rogue face-off. That'd be so much better than what the fuck they have now. It makes no sense. A little thing too, once again, just the promotion. Okay, moving on. Just better fight posters. I think people have been saying this for fucking ever. They have slowly, you can tell, started to tweak it. The last couple for the UFC Paramount, what was it, 324, 5, and I think 6 with Oliveira and Holloway. They're actually like trying. So I'm hoping they fucking continue. And I hope they continue even on the fight nights. Like, they just need to lock in. It's all about just being lazy or not lazy. Just lock in. Give us the badass posters again. Give us like the Ryzen posters that are fucking just badass. Stop giving us these cookie cutter Marvel Avengers ass posters. Stop giving us these movie fucking posters. These are things that the UFC, like badass posters that can be at the bar that people say, holy shit, like what the fuck is that? Like, it should be something that catches your attention. It shouldn't be fucking 6 men staring at each other and be like, oh, like, what is that? It's just 6 heads looking directly at me. Like, make it something cool. And they seem to be slowly doing that. I hope they continue to lock in and just keep making them better. But it's just a little nitpick thing. But it just adds so much. Like, everyone knows the fight posters. It's a thing. It's just a thing in the fighting world, the fight posters. It's a big thing. So make it a big thing if you're trying to push a big product, a big sport. Imagine the fucking NFL putting out a poop shitty graphic. There's obviously going to be times. But like the pregame hype for the Super Bowl, imagine Seattle Patriots and it's a picture of fucking Drake May and Sam Darnold. Just their big ass heads. Like, that's not getting you hyped. That's not getting you hyped. And the NFL isn't even about the posters. The MMA world, UFC, is about the fight posters. It has history. It's just their thing. So make it better. Another one. Moving on. Can we please get face-to-face interviews and interactions with at least just the champs? You might have seen like the whole Paramount. I didn't see it during the broadcast at all, but like It was like I saw Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong walking. It was like, I don't know, Paramount like recorded it, not like backstage, but like it was for a promo they were cutting. And they walked up, they did like a face off. But like get these fighters, get the champion and the challenger, sit them down, have an have someone interview them. Holy fuck, dude. The beefs would be outstanding. Like imagine Leon Edwards and Bilal Muhammad when they were when Leon was a champion. Dude, Bilal would fucking mog him. Imagine an actual heated rivalry, even if it's not a champion. Imagine Diego Lopez and Yair Rodriguez like having a face-to-face, one-on-one interview. Just them two and the person interviewing them. Like, these would make it so much better. DDP and his shit talk. Hamzat, someone who's just so casually cocky, but not cocky. Like, these would be fucking awesome, especially if they have like genuine bad blood. It would just get so much more traction. It would actually build stars. It would naturally promote fighters because they can either be themselves or they could be like a Colby Covington, or they just are a jackass in front of the cameras in the interviews, and it starts getting people not to like them. Like, the UFC needs to do this instead of fucking shoving people down our throat that we don't want to see. Let the fans decide who we are interested in. Put them in front of a camera. Let's really see how they are in an interview. And if they're fucking bad in front of a mic, so be it. As long as they can perform in the octagon. I get it. It's like the WWE. Not everyone is good on the mic. There's some people that are dog shit on the mic that are amazing in the ring. Vice versa. Not everyone can be great at both. But promote the fighters like this. It just makes no sense. I'll piggyback into like the other one I'm kind of saying. The UFC just stopped promoting fighters. They just stopped promoting fighters. For whatever reason. The last fighter they genuinely promoted was Francis Ngannou. Like, Dana White went on a whole fucking world tour. He was on ESPN. He was yapping so much about Ngannou's punching power, his punching force, his fucking G-force. You don't see any promotion for any fighters. That's what I don't understand. Imagine the NFL being like, all right, Mahomes, we know you're the face of the NFL. We know you're the face of the league. But we're just not going to promote you. You're a multi-time MVP. We're just not really going to promote you. Sorry, you got to. We're giving you a platform to promote yourself. We're giving you the NFL. We're giving you these primetime games. You have to promote yourself. Like, sorry, pretty much go fuck off. That's what the UFC does. At least now, that's what they do. Especially with Dana White leading the charge. Why is Tom Aspinall? Why did he not get any promotion for John Jones ducking him? Why did he not get any promotion saying he is the fastest person, ring time? He has the fastest ring time in UFC history. He gets guys out of there in the first round. Like nothing. No promotion. No nothing. The UFC does not promote their people. They expect, as I say, the UFC expects their players, like, hey, or their fighters, hey, you should be thankful that we are giving you a platform. Okay, we gave you a platform. Now you guys have to decide what you want to do with it and promote yourself. You guys go make your own YouTube videos. You guys go do these podcasts. We're not going to do jack shit. We're not going to promote you. We're not going to say anything about you. You could be the best submission artist. You could be the fastest guy in the ring, knocking people out there, the most badass heavyweight. We're not going to promote you. You should be thankful for us that you fight for the UFC. Tough luck, kid. Like, promote the fucking fighters. Make people interested in these guys. It makes no sense. Make people be like, you know what? I've heard of the name Tom Aspinall. Like, I think he's good. But really lock in, like, holy fuck, like, dude, I'm sitting there, I see, holy shit, like, yeah, dude, this dude's actually good. He's knocking people out in the fucking first round. Islam. Holy shit, like, this dude actually makes wrestling fun. He gets people out of there. He submits people. He dominates on the wrestling. He submits people. Ilya. Promote Ilya. The guy has the best fucking power in the UFC currently. He's one of the most vicious knockout artists in UFC history, and they just aren't promoting him. It's right there. That's what I'm saying, how lazy it is. If you don't want to promote someone like Bilal, if you don't want to promote a JDM, you have Alex Pereira and you have Ilia Topuria, current champions. Current fucking champions who have entertaining styles, who knock everyone out. They don't just knock them out, they send them to the fucking Shadow Realm. They kill people in the octagon. Why are they not getting more promoted? People who are casuals or people who are not familiar with the UFC or like, yeah, I've watched a couple of Conor fights. They should know who Ilia and Alex Pereira are. They should know who Ilia Topuria is. Alex is the biggest star in the UFC currently. Why is Ilia not that right there with him? He has just as an exciting style. I don't understand it. The UFC is just pissing away money. They're pissing away eyeballs. They're pissing away their product by not actually promoting. It shouldn't be like, hey, Ilia, you're champion. We gave you the UFC. We gave you an opportunity. Now you take it and run. You make people know that you're the best fucking knockout artist that we currently have. He's a double champ, for Christ's sakes. He is the knockout king in the current UFC. He is the knockout king. Why is he not getting pushed like a star, like a superstar? You may think he is because he might headline the White House and, you know, he got an immediate title shot jumping up a weight class without defending his belt at featherweight. If you're a fan of the UFC and you actively follow it, sure, he may be a star. But to someone casual, they're not going to know who Ilia is. Just make small promos on TikTok. TikTok's huge. The youth uses TikTok so fucking much. What's stopping you from just making these cool edits, these cool chop-ups, these little day in the lives of Ilia, and actually promoting him and making him seem human, or putting his knockouts out there, or like, hey, holy shit, Ilia, can you do this sports science for us? We're going to walk you through and see how he generates this much power in his punches. But they don't do anything. They don't give a fuck. It just makes no sense. The next thing, it kind of piggybacks off that. The UFC just needs more personality. Like I said, these aren't big things. These are just small things that the UFC can change to just make their product so much bigger. Right now, the UFC, it just seems so bland. It seems like I'm eating fucking Ruffles potato chips. All right? Sometimes they're good. Like, I'm not saying they're fucking bad. I'm not saying the UFC is bad at all. I'm still going to eat it. I'm still going to watch it. I'm still going to consume it. But they could be so much better. I could be eating something so much better. But they don't give a fuck. The UFC just needs more personality. Why are not more fighters? I don't care if you're not a champion or not. Whatever. Why are they not getting custom shorts? I understand not every fighter may want custom shorts. Give the fighters an opportunity to go seek someone like, hey, cool, I want custom shorts. I'm 1-0 in the UFC, or I'm 1-1, blah, blah, blah. They should have an opportunity to just have custom shorts. Why the fuck is that so hard? Because guess what? If I'm sitting here and I'm like a casual and I have no idea who this guy is from Russia, and he's got custom shorts and he does a crazy knockout, or he does something fucking sick in the ring, has a cool exchange, has a badass round, he's bleeding a fuck ton. If I see his custom shorts, I'm going to associate the shorts with the guy. I'm going to remember the guy even more. Have these guys have more personality. It just brings in more eyeballs to the sport. Oh my God, like Ilia, or, you know, not Ilia, just someone without custom shorts. It's like a bigger star, a bigger name. I'm going to see those shorts. Everyone knows Patty has the orange shorts. Like, that's his thing. It gives these fighters more of a brand. It gives the UFC more of a brand to sell their fucking merch, for Christ's sakes. I just don't understand why the UFC has to go through these big loops and holes. Like, oh, you have to be a champion, or we have to actually like you to have custom shorts. Every fighter should have the fucking opportunity to have custom shorts. The UFC should just have a design team. They work with the fighters. They get the custom shorts out. It makes people associate the fighters, because there's so many fighters, and there's so many fighters from other countries that, you know, their names are hard to remember. It's hard to remember all of the fighters on the UFC roster, let alone the top 15 of every division. There's 7 divisions? And you have to remember the top 15, let alone every prospect, every veteran, just everybody. If there's a fucking badass prospect that I'm watching a YouTube video and be like, hey, this prospect, you should watch out for him. He could make some noise this year. This prospect could make some noise this year. And he has custom shorts. Like, okay, I'm going to associate. Like, and I forget the prospect's name. And if I see those custom shorts again later in the year, I'm like, oh shit, that's the crazy prospect. Like, this guy's supposed to be good. Let me see how he's doing. Give these guys custom shorts. It just is something so stupid that the UFC just needs to do. Another thing that they need to do or bring back, why can't the UFC bring back the custom card names? Maybe this is me being unk and me nitpicking. Dude, why can't the UFC go back to fucking making like the custom, like, Battle of the Beasts or Battle of the Titans, and it'd be like UFC Battle of the Titans 47. Like, it'd be UFC 47, but they'd have a name. Like, they would associate it. Like UFC America versus UK. Like, stupid stuff like that. Maybe it's a little corny, and maybe we don't need that if they're trying to be a little bit more professional, but just something. I don't fucking know. Like, it would be a little bit more entertaining. Like I said, maybe this is just me nitpicking and being corny. The custom shorts, I agree with. The custom card names, maybe they went away with them. I don't exactly know why they went away with them. I guess maybe to be more professional than I'm kind of talking out loud. But it would just add, it would be cool. It's the UFC. It's supposed to be turn off your brain. It's fucking fighting. Big heavy guy throws punch and I get knocked out. Like, that's what it is. Or it's Battle of the Titans. Like, that's fucking cool. To me, that's cool. Like, add more stupid shit like that. And the last few, I'll just kind of fly through these. I kind of brushed over them all already. But one, the UFC needs better media. The media is dog shit. No one wants to be sitting here hyped for a UFC card and you're watching the fucking fighter interviews or you're watching the press conferences and the media is asking, Derek Lewis, are you going to get on top of your wife tonight? I'm sorry. That's fucking waste of a question. That's dumb as fuck. Like, imagine an NFL media member at Super Bowl Media Day asking Tom Brady, are you going to take off your shirt if you win the Super Bowl? Like, it's just a fucking waste of everyone's time. Get legit media members in there that give a fuck about the sport, that aren't going to ask the same generic questions. So, like, how are you going to celebrate if you get the win? You know, how is this training camp different than how you felt before? Like, just the same cookie cutter. Make these media members, we need media members in there that, one, stir the pot. Two, showcase these fighters' personalities. We don't want to hear the same fucking, oh, how was the fighting camp? Or how was your training camp? You know, what are some things that your opponent does that's different from your last opponent? Like, we don't give a fuck, man. Get these media members out of here. Get better media members. The last two, okay, another one tie in quickly. I know it was a long yap sesh. Can we please bring back, I know we already did it once this year. It was kind of a flop. I watched it. It was kind of a fucking flop. And it depends on the personalities that you have there. The large seasonal press conferences. Can we just announce like the next 4 cards and then have the next 4 champions or the big fights at the large seasonal press conferences? That would make things, and then boom, you have it. And it's like, okay, this is where we're going to announce the featured fights, the co-mains. Like, we're going to have shit talking. Like, just get these fighters to interact with each other more. I don't get why the UFC kind of went away from them. They did it. They brought it back earlier in the year with Patty and Gaethje and Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong and Derek Lewis. But they didn't really have it was kind of dry personality. I think they expected Patty to shit talk a lot more, but he didn't. So it all kind of depends on the personality you have there. But even if it's getting the fighters there and you get better fucking media members asking them questions, all right, for their upcoming fights, and then you announce even more fights in video packaging or live face-offs. That's when you start making the UFC a sport and a spectacle rather than just it's a business and they're a sport on the side. And the last two, one, stop making the rankings not fucking matter. Get the champion to fight the number one guy. Stop the dodging, stop the ducking, make the rankings matter, fix the fucking dumbass rankings. I don't know how you do it, how you go about it. Once again, treat the UFC like a sport, and then a business. Stop bullshitting around the rankings. The number one contender, if he is healthy, he deserves to fight for a championship. It makes no sense. And then finally, stop the AI fight cards. Stop the AI slop fucking shitty, poop shitty fight cards. UFC London that just got announced, fucking terrible. It's an octagon fight card. It's a local show fight card with 3 ranked fighters. 3 ranked fighters in 26 on one fight card. Like, it just, stop the AI. It's literally them asking Gronk, hey, quickly, can you just make us a fight card? Have 4 ranked fighters on it, and it just spits out names. They have to be from London, and it just spits them out fucking names. Stop with the AI fight cards. Stop with the fucking dog shit, main cards. Please lock in. Please lock in. Mick Maynard, Hunter Campbell, please. Like, just lock in and stop making these bullshit cards that people around the world shouldn't have to pay 60 or however much they have to pay for the pay-per-view. Since people in America get it for $8 a month or however much the subscription is. It shouldn't be, if you're going away from pay-per-view in America, your immediate reaction is, how do we just make the product fucking worse? Because we're giving it to them for a better price. Let's just make it a worse product. No, it doesn't fucking work like that. I just don't understand it. Stop with the Gronk fight cards. It could be pay-per-view. It could be the fight nights. Stop with the AI bullshit cards. Like, I just don't understand it. It's so infuriating. That is it, though. Like, that was an ultimate rant, ultimate yap sesh. If you're at the end of the video and if you really listen to it all, I appreciate you. I love you. Let me know if there's anything you would change about the UFC. Like I said, these are just small things that the UFC could just lock in. They could change this shit, like all this shit, overnight. And the UFC would be 10 million times fucking better than what it is now. Like, I'm still going to watch it. It's literally just, it's your guilty pleasure. You're still going to watch it. You're still going to enjoy it. You're still going to bitch about it. But you're still going to love it at the end of the day. You're going to put up with it. And that's what the fucking UFC has us by the balls. So if you have anything that you would change, anything you agree with me with, disagree with, let me know. But if you're at the end of the video here, thanks for watching. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.